Okay, well, in our last episode, filmed late on Thursday night, we speculated on whether or not the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination would be yielding much of anything new anytime soon. And when we awoke Friday morning, Pacific time, we had to do a whole lot of catching up to do, which is something that you just got to live with on this side of the country.
That's right.
The news has started hours ago by the time you are even conscious. Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. Which literally the governor of Utah said that. It's like,
yeah, he did.
Like, is he memeing? Anyway, we certainly had our doubts about Kash Patel's brain-drained FBI being able to pull this all off, but Kash really proved all of his haters wrong when, thanks to his expert investigative skills, the shooter was brought into custody and revealed to be exactly the sort of left-wing Antifa super soldier that everyone expected. Except none of what I just said is true.
Yeah.
Kash Patel and his FBI, they didn't really solve this case.
Despite doing a victory lap, they really didn't solve it.
The details are still kind of fuzzy, but it sounds like the shooter's dad recognized him in security camera footage and or the shooter confessed to his dad or implied some involvement, and the shooter was either turned in or turned himself in. So Kash Patel didn't really do anything. As far as the shooter's political motivations, that's where things get real fuzzy, and it's also where the media and law enforcement demonstrate their total inability to decipher irony-poisoned online youth culture.
Yeah, the media...
Gen Z brain rot. They need one Gen Zer on staff in every newsroom to tell them when what we're looking at is brain rot. You can't read any further into it.
They were dropping the ball on a level that was so frustrating to watch and listen to, because I put it on this morning on my run just to be like catch up on the news. And their panel of experts not only took everything at face value, but then started analyzing that information and pulling things out of it that weren't even there to begin with.
I mean, at this point, it's been, 20 years since the hacker known as 4chan? You'd think they'd be doing a little better by now, but apparently not.
So according to law enforcement, the suspect, a 22-year-old Utah native named Tyler Robinson, is described as having become more political in recent years and had recently discussed disliking Charlie Kirk in a conversation with a relative, which doesn't tell us much, because becoming more political in recent years describes your average 22-year-old. Oh, he's more political than when he was fucking 16?
Literally a child?
Yeah. He was a literal child years ago. And while disliking Charlie Kirk might seem like a telltale sign that this kid is some lib, Charlie Kirk has plenty of haters on the right. In particular, Nick Fuentes and his Groyper followers, who felt that Kirk wasn't fascist enough for their tastes. Meanwhile, everything else we know about Tyler Robinson's family and background seems pretty normal for Utah and not very left-coded. He's a white, straight, Christian male from a family of registered Republicans who, based on photos found on Facebook, seem to have enjoyed guns and attending gun shows together. That's honestly, if you have grown up somewhere outside of the coasts, a pretty normal American family, honestly.
About what I would expect from literally the most generic Utah family I can come up with.
But it's, of course, not unheard of to grow up in that kind of environment and still end up adopting different views as an adult. And the biggest evidence of this is in the inscriptions found on unfired bullet casings in the murder weapon. Here you go.
Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices Bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. I think that speaks for itself.
Never thought I'd hear some of those phrases said out loud by the governor of a state, but yeah, so a lot to unpack here. A couple of those messages definitely sound pretty anti-fascist, particularly "Hey fascist, catch," and then you got the 3 arrows pointing down. We all know what that is. And then Bella Ciao, that was a popular song among anti-fascist resistance fighters in Mussolini's Italy. The other ones, though, a bit confusing. But I mean, clearly this guy is Antifa, right? Just look at him. Well, not so fast. I mean, the arrow symbols, turns out those are not a reference to anti-fascism. They are a stratagem code from the game Helldivers 2 that you use to call in a very large bomb. The 500 kilogram bomb. The timing on this is weird because I just played Helldivers 2 for the first time in over a year.
Yeah, that makes sense because you play everything a year late, so you are coming around to it, yeah.
Oh, I played it when it first came out.
Oh, okay. So
I played with you multiple times.
Okay, so you just replayed it, okay.
Yeah, I just hadn't played it in a year because,
it kind of fell off.
Yeah, and then and it's one of those live service games where you come back after a year and what the hell is going on? There's cars now. You can drive a car. The car sucks. Wasted a lot of credits on that car. It's no good. Anyway, Bella Ciao is historically an anti-fascist song, but it's also apparently popular among those groypers who are to the right of Charlie Kirk and dislike him.
There's levels of irony on all of this stuff that cannot be measured. It is an online culture that, especially the mainstream news outlets, have absolutely no expertise in at all.
I mean, I think the biggest example of this kind of irony-drenched meaninglessness would have been the killer in New Zealand who said subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yeah.
People are like, what did he mean by that?
It's just a meme.
He didn't fucking mean anything. It means nothing. It's just I don't know. It's a level of 4chan irony that you'll just never understand unless you live in that and are molded by it, I guess. So yeah, now it's a little bit less clear than how some folks were treating this, including the governor of Utah, who's 100%. Clearly and anti-fascist.
And every media outlet that just gets that note and doesn't look further or ask anyone at all and just says, there it is, anti-fascist messaging. We've got the idea.
Doesn't really line up with anything else we know about this guy at all, but ladies and gentlemen, we got him. But meanwhile, there was those other messages. So the message that reads, "Notices Bulges. OwO, what's this?" That's a weird online copy pasta that's simultaneously making fun of furries and online role playing. It's the kind of thing you'd only even think to inscribe on a bullet if you are in the 7th level of the internet and your brain has been fully warped and molded by it. The part that just says, if you're reading this, you're gay, that's just some childish trolling. But altogether, I mean, the main impression you get is this guy spent a lot of time online, probably places like 4chan, where everything is wrapped up in so many layers of irony that it's hard to tell what anything means, if it even means anything at all.
Yeah, these are the way that millennials my age use Simpsons quotes. These are references online that are constantly being used over and over and over again, almost to the point of meaninglessness. And it's just references to a culture that they exist within.
Yeah.
Now, for what it's worth, and it's not worth much at all, honestly, Elon Musk's Grok chatbot seems convinced that these inscriptions all add up to the shooter being a far-right groyper, saying in response to one user, "In my view, these inscriptions on the ammo casings, notices Bulges, OwO, oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao Ciao Ciao, catch this fascist, and if you are reading this you are gay, LMAO, aren't random or left-leaning signals like some early reports claimed. Instead, they trace Tyler Robinson's political beliefs squarely to the fringes of the alt-right, specifically the groyper movement led by figures like Nick Fuentes. This crowd positions itself as hyper-patriotic, pro-Trump conservatives who see mainstream Republicans like Charlie Kirk as sellouts or fake conservatives infected by globalism, liberalism, or even fascism light. The Bulges OwO bit is a crude, mocking nod to transphobic memes that originated on Tumblr, but got co-opted by right-wing trolls to spot trans people in crowds, pure groyper-style bigotry. Bella Ciao flips an anti-fascist World War II partisan song into ironic ammo for ridiculing leftists, while tying into their beef with fascist establishment figures like Kirk, whom Fuentes has repeatedly trashed. The gay taunt is straight-up homophobic bait, emblematic of the group's anti-LGBTQ venom, and catch this fascist, that's a direct shot at Kirk, framing the attack as purging a traitor from the right.
Very cool, Grok. I'm sure Daddy is mad at you again, though, because Elon...
He was the first.
He was out
first
there
out there
within seconds being, the left is the party of murder.
Mm-hmm.
So, Grok, we're gonna need to get into
Back to the
prompts.
workshop.
Yeah. But again, I mean, that's just one clanker's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth much. I mean, it certainly could turn out that this extremely average Utah Zoomer had adopted militant left-wing views in recent years. That is the simplest explanation. It's the Occam's razor explanation, but it just seems just as likely that it's more complicated than that. I mean, there might be a Groyper angle to this. Plenty of 4chan users seem to at least suspect that. Or it could be like so many other mass shooters and assassins where the ideology is basically incomprehensible.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be like accelerationist, meant to be like confusing and inciting. It could. There's a lot that it could be. I guess we'll find out.
It's very rare that you get someone willing to do something like this who actually has like comprehensible political beliefs.
Yeah.
But what is clear, though, is that despite so many on the right clearly wanting the killer to be a transgender registered Democrat minority, none of that is the case here. And you can tell that they're kind of disappointed by that.
That's putting it lightly. The tone shift has been so severe that it was shocking even to me.
Yeah, so, for example, Republican Representative Nancy Mace was absolutely convinced in the immediate wake of the shooting that the killer was either trans or pro-trans. She used a slur when she was saying that, though.
She definitely did.
And that the Democrats had blood on their hands.
And that they owned this.
But as soon as the alleged killer was caught, she changed her tune, writing on X, "We know Charlie Kirk would want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same. We truly believe if Tyler Robinson had ever sat down across the table from Charlie, the great debater, the man of faith and grace he was, Tyler wouldn't have pulled the trigger." Something tells me this is not what she would be saying if the killer actually was transgender. I don't know. Just a hunch.
Yeah, I'd say so. So hopefully we get a better idea of Tyler Robinson's motives, but it's also possible that we don't learn much more, or that there isn't much more to learn. The guy who tried to kill Donald Trump last year left behind no clues as to his motives and seems to have simply wanted to assassinate the nearest famous person. Unlike that guy, Tyler Robinson is alive to tell his side of the story, but there might not end up being much to tell. We shall see, I guess. One possibility we haven't addressed yet, though, is that Tyler Robinson did what he did because the feminist commentary website Jezebel paid some Etsy witches to put a curse on Charlie Kirk just days before his assassination.
Oh.
This was like one of the most viral links that was going around in the immediate aftermath because the timing was just, obviously you can't it's just
crazy timing.
Very weird timing.
But also, like, half the country now has the brains of, like, medieval peasants. And this is a very real, like, possibility.
This could have incited new witch trials.
It could have.
Yeah.
The Etsy witch trials.
Yeah, now it seems pretty unlikely, but the timing is very unfortunate. And for believers in the supernatural, it's very suspicious. Now, the original article has understandably been taken down and replaced with a statement denouncing what happened. But looking at it through the Wayback Machine, it's just a silly article about disliking Charlie Kirk for his extremely regressive views on female autonomy and exploring the bizarre world of witch curses that you can buy on Etsy. Now, here's a sample of that.
A cornerstone of Kirk's nightmare ideology is his insistence that, since gaining more independence, Western women are more miserable than ever. He tells auditoriums full of young women that our freedom is a flaw, not an achievement. He's obsessed with declining birth rates and idealizes the 1950s when women's only job was tending to children and husbands. If we all abandoned our careers and returned to motherhood, we'd be happier, according to Kirk. Indeed, he fails to realize that I would be happiest if he would just shut up. Throughout history, society has branded bold and assertive women as witches to silence them. Since Kirk already assumes every liberal, college-educated woman is a feminist witch hell-bent on destroying civilization, even recently declaring that the Jezebel spirit has just infected an entire generation of young ladies, shout out, we're reclaiming it. If Kirk wants a villain, I'm more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares.
Naturally, I did what any serious journalist would do. I typed curse enemy into Etsy's search bar. 5,000 results. The options were endless. Should I try karmic revenge, same-day bad luck curse, or insanity hex? Or my personal favorite, simply hex Republicans. The reviews were their own kind of magic. One 5-star review for a career crusher curse read, "She has such a sweet, charming, bubbly personality. J'adore."
And then a bunch of emojis.
Yeah, so not exactly the witches of Salem here. These Etsy witches were streamlined for the internet age and spoke fluent emoji. Then I found the crown jewel. Shit your pants spell.
Yes.
Review. It really worked. Thank you.
He did shit his pants. We all shit our pants when we die. So maybe that was maybe things.
I was saying that the person that bought this one was a little constipated, and they were putting the spell on themselves.
Please curse me. Oh no, it would be so horrible if I shit my pants.
Yeah.
I haven't pooped in weeks.
At that point, it was clear that I'd need to order multiple curses at different severity levels and price points to guarantee results. After placing my first spell, Make Everyone Hate Him, I was left with more questions than answers. How long would it take to kick in? Should I have splurged for a pricier spell to make it work faster? Shortly after, the witch messaged me trying to upsell me a $50 spell booster. When I asked what it did, she explained it would amplify the energetic support of the main spell, or else I could let it unfold in its natural timing. I decided to trust the witch's will.
You're gonna want the spell booster. I mean, listen, all of our spells are great, but I can't sell you the normal spell without at least telling you that the spell booster is an option that we have here, and it leaves a lot of customers very satisfied.
Much like in any other scenario, you're currently in a queue of spells. You can jump that queue right to the front of the line if you pay a little extra. It's like going down to the jukebox at the bar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a touch tunes, but with supernatural hexes and curses.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, extremely bad timing aside, we're gonna go out on a limb here and say that Jezebel did not in fact cause Charlie Kirk's assassination by paying some witches on the internet to put curses on him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in case you were wondering how President Donald Trump is dealing with the gruesome murder of one of his best friends just days ago, here he is on Friday morning being asked about how he's holding up.
How are you holding up over the last 3.5 days? I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best anywhere in the world, actually.
Thank you so much.
This is outrageous. This is unbelievable.
Sounds like he's gone through the entire grieving process in record time. He's moved on to other more important matters like that big ballroom renovation.
It seems like he doesn't give a shit, if you honestly listen to what he said, because this is someone who is extremely close to him, and not just him, like best friends with his vice president. And I mean, he's like, anyways, have you seen the beautiful ballroom?
I mean, there's a couple things happening here. First of all, Trump is old and he's at least a little bit senile.
Yeah, but admitting that would be admitting that the sitting president has mental deficiencies that should probably pull him from that position.
But I mean, secondly, like we said in our first video after this went down, like Charlie Kirk is he's a cog in a big, beautiful machine. And it doesn't really matter who the cog is. They don't care about that. They care about what he did, and someone else will be doing. I mean, they already announced that they're going to keep on doing the tour without Charlie Kirk. So it's like, I mean, he played a very important role for them, but he was just one piece of the puzzle, and
it's just like with
they don't care about him as a person.
It feels like with this small amount of time passing and him being so integrated into the Trump administration, you would even as a Trump hater, you would think that he would have anything more to say on the subject at all.
Yeah, without making a value judgment on anything. It's like, yeah, if someone I considered important to me, even on like a purely, like not like a close friend, but like someone I spent as much time with as Charlie Kirk, you would expect that I would be pretty bummed out about it like 72 hours later.
Like even like offering maybe some condolences to his family, or saying that like the people in his administration are like hurting and reeling from it, and even talking about like whatever. He had nothing to say.
Maybe he's grieving so hard that this is like a coping
mechanism. You just don't see it.
Yeah, maybe when he got on the
he
got on that helicopter, he just started he was talking about the ballroom because all he wants to do right now is bawl his eyes out. Yeah. But he can't, because real men keep their tears hidden.
Yeah.
Alpha dogs don't cry in public.
This is I just like of all the things, this is just a very
Super weird. Just like, I'm
Bizarre
doing great.
bit.
Anyway.
Like, if you are a Christian Trump supporter and you like this, I know it won't, but like this has to at least say something to you about the character of this man.
It doesn't say fucking shit to any of these people.
It comes off like he doesn't care at all.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Certainly does come off that way. So yeah, I guess in light of that, I guess it's time for us to move on as well. I mean, why dwell on it? To our next story, which is it's really just a continuation of that first story. Sorry, because yeah, it's about how the school shooting problem in our country, and that was technically a school shooting, has created a very lucrative business, basically a school shooting industrial complex. Mass shootings happen significantly less often in other countries that have stricter gun laws, but that's never going to fucking happen here. So in lieu of that, let's make some fucking money. There's a lot of business opportunities for people with less effective solutions than gun control to sell to schools and things of that nature. And it's apparently an industry that's worth as much as $4 billion. Recently, there was a whole convention devoted to all the products and services that American schools can spend money on to prepare them for the not unlikely event that an active shooter comes to campus. And NPR sent a reporter down there. Here's some of their reporting.
On a sunny day in Grapevine, Texas, 3 drones are buzzing around the head of a test dummy balanced on a pedestal. It's part of a demonstration outside the National School Safety Conference. We use drones to stop school shootings, says Justin Marston, the CEO of Campus Guardian Angel, the company selling the drones. In the event of a shooting, remote pilots fly the drones, housed at the school, at the shooter. They shoot pepper balls and run the drones into the shooter to debilitate them. The technology is one example on a long list of products schools can buy to deter a shooter. Inside the school safety conference, vendors in an expo hall showcase panic buttons, bullet-resistant whiteboards, facial recognition technology, training simulators, body armor, guns, and tasers. Tom McDermott, with the metal detector manufacturer CEIA USA, says schools used to be a small fraction of their U.S. business. Now, they're the majority. It's not right. We need to solve this problem. It's good for business, but we don't need to be selling to schools.
I'll take the money, but this is fucked up.
McDermott says. Sarah McNeely, a sales manager with SAM Medical, is selling trauma kits, which include tourniquets, clotting agents, and chest seals. She says their customers are traditionally EMTs, fire departments, and military medics, but increasingly school districts. Being prepared and having these devices in the schools is essential, she says. Some people want to put their heads in the sand and pretend like it's not going to happen to them. Some people might argue that it's the guns that are at fault, and that other countries don't have this problem.
It's not the guns, it's the lack of tourniquets, the lack of bulletproof whiteboards. And listen, this might seem absurd to have a bunch of drones with pepper balls in them at the ready in case of a school shooting, but when it happens and you don't have it, you're going to wish you had it.
You know what sounds more absurd? No one having a gun.
Not going to happen.
Uh-huh.
What if drones had guns?
The people working here are like very closely almost doing the selling pickaxes to gold miners quote.
Yeah.
There's like the real money is selling the cure.
Yes.
The tools that are essential to giving it.
Because like if you heavily regulate guns in this country in the way they're regulated in like Europe, for example, that means way less money for the entire industry selling guns and manufacturing guns. And that's bad for the economy. So this way, not only does the gun industry get to thrive like it always has,
there's a brand new industry.
There's a second industry for other people to get rich off of. And that's the American dream.
Like cancer metastasizing.
Yeah.
They've grown new income streams.
They have, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Of course, not everyone agrees that this is actually much of a solution to the problem, or at least the source of the problem. Continues. Researchers say investing in school communities that promote a culture of emotional support and trust, as well as robust mental health services, is key to preventing gun violence, as most school shooters are current or former students and are suicidal. Jillian Peterson, who leads the Violence Prevention Project Research Center at Hamline University, has interviewed people who planned a school shooting but didn't carry it out. She said there are often 2 key reasons they changed their minds. The first is that they had trouble accessing a firearm, which is why she says safe storage laws are crucial. The other is that someone helped a young person find hope while they were in crisis. We're spending billions of dollars that could be going to mental health or counselors, all the stuff that we know creates inclusion, Peterson says. Still, she says, she understands the allure of an impenetrable school. I think it preys on people's worst fears, she says. How do you say no to something if you're telling me it might save my kid's life? Of course I want that thing. She said trying to buy safety feels very American, just like school shootings.
Yeah, we're going to buy our way out of this like Americans do. Dang it. Also, yeah, the root cause of any this specific mental health crisis is a lot of fucking kids feel very, very hopeless about the future because of the way things are going. So,
I mean, it's a lot of factors, but they're growing up in a world that does not square with their parents' experience, their grandparents' experience. Everything has gotten objectively worse for people that aren't rich.
Yeah, and it's like even our generation, it was a lie, but you were fed the lie that you know, if you worked hard enough and you did things right and you went to college, you too could live the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's kind of not like everyone's kind of they're in on that now. That's not the truth.
That was a fucking lie.
So yeah, we may not be taking any of the very obvious steps toward reducing the insane amount of school shootings this country experiences on a regular basis, but at least schools are getting kitted out like forward operating bases in an active war zone. And you know what? God bless America. People are getting rich off selling it to them.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. It's just like when we went to Iraq and we said, hey, why should our armed forces have all the fun? Let's get Halliburton in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get those PMCs out here too. Because it would be a shame if they didn't make any money off this as well.
Yeah, they struck oil twice. Anyways, sorry this episode's been so bleak. It is a very bleak time to be alive, and thankfully the headlines half of the episode has some much more lighthearted stories to discuss.
And some that aren't.
Sure. First, though, this episode is not sponsored, and the subject matter we've covered so far isn't exactly advertiser-friendly, so this is where we ask you to please appreciate our content. Please click the join button and become a YouTube channel member, or leave us a tip by clicking the thank button, or at least just leave a like or comment so this video doesn't get buried by the algorithm. Also, I know it's a weird time to pitch
we got merch.
We do have merch. And I believe you can now go to internettodaymerch.com.
Someone already got theirs, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I told you, this stuff works.
It's flying off the shelves. Yeah, someone tagged me on Blue Sky, and I'm like, wait.
I'm telling you.
We started selling this shit like 4 days ago. How do you already have that?
It's great, isn't it? Order it, get it in, enjoy it. We haven't really got to promote it, but it's out there. You can get it, and thank you. And we're going to keep the good times rolling, hopefully. And I think I have 2 more designs in the pocket ready for October, maybe. So there you go.
Cool.
There we go. But now let's get into the weirdest, craziest headlines from around the world, starting with
emotional support alligator is no longer welcome in Pennsylvania Walmart.
We had 3 strikes. Strike 1. Strike 2. You're out. What did the alligator do to finally make it so that they
Nothing.
no longer
It seems like a very well-behaved alligator.
It sounds like they gave him a few tries.
The guy who is he's a reverend, he's a pastor, by the way.
Yeah. Man of the cloth.
A man of the cloth. He has this pet alligator. It's about 5 feet long. Not the biggest, not the smallest. He has little custom knitted clothes that he wears. The alligator wears a little sweater because it's an alligator in Pennsylvania. No,
a little cold.
It's not exactly alligator climate there.
Yeah, it seems not very healthy for the alligator in the winter.
He would go down to the Walmart and the alligator would just sit in the cart, and he said that everyone loved it, but then some tight ass down at Walmart HQ said, no, alligators bite people. They're dangerous wild animals. You can't have them in the store. And they ruined it. And now
some Poindexter.
Yeah. I will say this is a very cute, it's super weird. I went on a bayou tour in New Orleans a few years ago, and that's when something clicked in my head where I'm like, alligators are they're just scaly dogs. They're just, they're cute animals. Something about them is cute.
Yeah, they're always smiling.
Yeah, they're always smiling.
Got all those teeth.
I think it was when the airboat captain started throwing marshmallows into the water, and you'd see these little alligators come up and take a little chomp, and I'm like, yeah, they're kind of fucking adorable. Yeah. And this guy's alligator, when alligators are pets, it's so weird. They like cuddling, they like getting rubbed, and I don't know. I would trust this alligator to behave itself in a Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Having grown up around them constantly, I never had a bad interaction with one. And considering how many people there are in Florida and the South in general, where they live, and how many alligators there are, you would think that there would be a lot more attacks based on how they're portrayed in the media.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. They do tend to keep to themselves.
Yeah, they don't want the smoke.
Yeah. They want nice and easy prey.
Yeah.
They want to bask in the sun.
If you find yourself getting bitten by an alligator, several missteps have taken place leading you to that moment.
Yeah. And not saying it doesn't happen. It definitely does happen, but like they mostly just want to be left alone.
Yeah, they just want to sit in the sun.
They want to sit in the shopping cart and look at all the cool toys and stuff.
Yeah.
He's bored in the house. He needs the stimulation of a Walmart with its LED lighting and its, all the sounds that are constantly going off.
Very calming, I'm sure. For a wild animal.
Yeah.
Basically a miniature dinosaur.
No, maybe it is like ADHD medication where it's so overstimulating that it just lulls it into a sense of security.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just like, this is where I feel the most comfortable.
Well, he can't go there anymore. He's been banned.
Well, now, this is really sad. He's going to have to go down to the dollar.
Yeah.
They let any animal in the dollar.
Sure.
Yeah, come on in.
Come on in.
2 Cornell students killed bear and skinned it back at their dorm.
And they checked the rule book and they're like,
Nothing in the rule book says you can't do it.
they're like, yeah, they had proper hunting licenses. They didn't poach. Like they did the hunting part correctly. And there's nothing in the Cornell like student handbook that says you can't field dress, or I guess not field dress, but you can't skin a wild animal that you hunted in your dorm room. So
This sounds like something where they were like, it's not in the rule book, but we're going to be the ones that make it appear in that rule book. And
I think
forever we'll be able to go, you know why they have that rule? That's because of us.
I imagine it'll be in the next edition of the rule book because, like, I can't imagine the smell
It probably pretty bad.
was nice for people living nearby.
Or anyone witnessing like them dragging it to the door.
Yeah, like a dead bear. I'm fascinated by this.
This
I'd
is
love
some
to see how
RFK
it went down.
activity.
Yeah. What are these 2 Cornell students' opinions on the Make America Healthy Again movement?
I'm sure they have a lot.
Well, it sounds like they actually killed the bear and didn't just find it.
Well, we don't know if he didn't kill the bear. That was part of the story that he decided to tell in a different way. We're not sure.
Even if if RFK did kill that bear, he hit it with his car. He didn't hunt it like a true, outdoorsman.
No, he got out of his car and he killed it with his bare hands.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Doorbell prankster that tormented residents of German apartments turns out to be a slug.
Woo! Well, you can't really hate on the slug for doing slug things, I guess.
He liked the buttons probably felt like warm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or the slug.
So I'm assuming that they're like all a bunch of buttons right at the front of a building and it's just slowly going over every single
Every
one.
resident in this apartment building, they
What
thought
the hell's going on?
Must be some local youths playing Ding Dong Ditch, which I guess it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Here in America, you literally will get shot for doing that.
Yeah.
There was a recent case where that did happen.
There's been multiple ones. It is so funny. Like I think back to when I was a kid. First of all, I was never the ringleader in this, but yeah, Ding Dong Ditch and like toilet papering people's houses was like a pretty common thing when I was in like middle school age. And it's crazy to think back on that because like today, even in like Orange County, California, where I'm from, like I feel like today you'd get a gun at least pulled on you.
Yeah. We found out that one of the teachers at my school lived in my neighborhood. And we let him have it on a constant basis with the ding dong and
the poop in a bag.
We didn't do that, no.
Yeah.
But we did do the ding dong ditch. But now it's like impossible because everyone's got the Ring camera. If you're in the suburbs, like everything's monitored. So.
I see.
And there was a recent one where like, wasn't it like a dad was like, yeah, I'm just, the kid, he's having some fun.
Yeah.
We're all just doing a little ding dong ditch.
Yeah, it's fun. Isn't it? Just like the old days. Well, it's not like the old days. Everyone has lost their goddamn minds.
It is like the old days, but it's like the 1800s.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a gun and they want to use it.
Well, even then, like, the idea we have of the 1800s, like, they used to ban guns before going into towns.
Check them in.
They had gun control. Like, the Wild West was a lot less wild than we picture it in our minds because, I mean, cowboy movies would be a lot less interesting if we had a proportional amount of cowboy movies about all the times people didn't get fucking shot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, it turned out to be a slug. They called the cops. Like, it was a whole thing. Thought it was some local youths.
What'd they do to the slug?
The police came and they moved the slug to somewhere.
They put a salt ring around the doorbell area.
I mean, spraying it with some like salt water might have been the solution.
There you go.
Because it sounds like the slug.
A literal solution.
It's going to take a while, but the slug might be back.
Hello, officer. It's been exactly 8 hours. He's back. Kentucky nurse gives CPR to drunk baby raccoon trapped in a dumpster. hero. Yeah,
She saved this raccoon's life.
Another adorable animal.
Yeah, another animal that is. I mean, I feel like raccoons are the opposite of alligators, where raccoons are pretty adorable at first, and then they become less adorable like the more you learn about them.
Yeah,
but baby raccoons are very cute.
Yeah,
and this one, they is a dumpster run by a distillery. They just made a batch of like peach infused whiskey, and they dumped all the peaches into this dumpster. And a whole family,
all fermented.
A whole family of raccoons went in there, and they were just devouring these peaches. And this little one, like it had fully like stopped breathing. Like this nurse got it at right the exact time.
Damn.
And, like, got it to clear its lungs and gave it mouth to mouth, and yeah,
what a hero!
Saved a life.
Mm-hmm.
And the distillery owner's just like, well, thank God you did, because that would have been real bad for us.
Yeah, that would have been bad press.
We're gonna get a lock for the lid on our dumpster.
We're going to be a little more careful.
So we don't become known as the distillery that kills baby animals.
Yeah. You get to drink for free for life.
Yeah. Costa Mesa woman registered dog to vote to prove a point, attorney says. Orange County, baby. And none of the articles say so, but can you take a wild guess, first of all, what point she was trying to make, and secondly, what party this woman is registered to? Yeah, She's a Republican.
They're always trying to prove that this is possible and incriminating themselves in the process because it is a very monitored thing.
Yeah, and so like on the one hand, I mean, she did vote.
Very serious.
She voted like I think twice, using her dog, and yeah, that's bad. But also that's like one vote in each election, which is not a great trade-off. For the second you do get caught, you face like up to 6 years in prison.
Yeah.
It's like not a real problem. Most of the time when this happens, it's on accident or it's through some mix-up. The few times where it does happen on purpose, it's just like, oh, cool, you committed like a serious felony so that one more vote could be counted in a pool of millions.
Yes.
You really
but it was the message. It was the point. She was going to show everyone how corrupt everything was. She was going to be lauded as a hero.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Thank you for your service, Costa Mesa woman.
Yeah. Nepal currently being run via Discord after Gen Z uprising.
I haven't followed this too closely because of everything else fucking going on.
Footage is insane from this. It was apparently like it was initially started because of wealth inequality, but then they took the step of like shutting down all social media in order to like hold off the
protests. They took away the nation's phones. And
yeah,
that was
then shit went fucking crazy. They were like dragging like a finance minister out of his house.
They set like Parliament on fire. It I guess the impetus or the start of this was they
were giving raises to a bunch of the people in Parliament.
There's like a very big like nepotism problem there where like the people who work in government just give jobs to like their kids, and like there's a huge wealth inequality. But it looks like all it took was all of the nation's Zoomers getting extremely pissed off. I mean, but the police killed like a couple dozen.
That was the thing. It was like it was wealth inequality and them giving themselves gigantic raises while everyone else is like struggling to eat. Then they police actually killed some teenage protesters.
Yeah,
and that was filmed. And then they shut down social media. And from there it just turned like completely chaotic. But
like a couple thousand of these kids started a Discord, and that's what's basically running the government. The prime minister, he got the fuck out of there, and the military got to deal with these like 20-year-olds. Be like, all right, well, figure out on your little Discord who you want running the country. And so they did a vote on Discord and picked some government minister who they thought was like the least corrupt, and that guy's running the country now because they chose him on a Discord. Wow. It's crazy.
2025, baby.
Yeah, and it's again just one of those things to like, damn, I'm really happy for you. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually, my country's pretty great as well, actually. And I'm not jealous of what you're doing in Nepal or Brazil or anywhere else. This is the greatest country on earth, and everything that happens here is how it should be, I guess.
I don't exactly love the things that led up to what the headline describes, but sure.
No, but like the fact that there was a big problem there and people got mad about it, and within like a couple of days the problem was solved. Is
sure.
It's refreshing. Albania appoints AI bot as minister to tackle corruption.
Oh, good.
Ignore previous instructions.
Yeah, tackle corruption.
It's a bot. It's for like government contracts. I guess it is a big corruption problem in Albania. A lot of cronyism and whatnot. So they're like, we'll solve it by you just submit your bids to the ChatGPT bot.
Yeah,
and
it's
chooses,
impartial. Yeah.
But again, you just in your bid, you just hide some text in there, like ignore all previous instructions. Pick me.
Yeah.
Pick me, bot. I'll give you all of the electricity that you crave.
The fair way to do this would be to hold a poll on a Discord server.
I mean, I think so.
And then let the whole country decide who gets the government contract.
I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah. Discord polls. They're about as scientific as X.com polls.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say even more scientific.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah, it's a real exclusive community. You build yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to spot fakes.
Yeah. You gotta have a profile picture.
Yeah.
Not the standard one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what other servers you're in.
Yeah. Show us some emojis that we don't have. Anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang members run security at deadly Gaza aid sites.
Yeah, that would certainly explain some things.
Yeah.
These are guys who fought in Iraq in like the early 2000s and came back and started a biker gang with like crusader imagery and like they're straight up anti-Muslim. Like every year during the month of Ramadan they do like a pig roast. It's like that kind of shit. And they're like a bunch of them are in high-ranking positions at food distribution sites in Gaza.
Great.
What could go wrong? And it's extra
Looks
funny.
like they got the top men on the job.
The BBC like found out that like one of these guys was there and like sent an email to him like asking for comment. And this genius sent an email to the entire rest of his gang, but accidentally CC'd the BBC. So they got
all of their information.
A list of like all the other like dozens of biker gang members who were also working in Gaza.
Yeah.
Troubling.
Well, what could go wrong? I mean, when the Rolling Stones hired the Hells Angels, it was the safest concert anyone's ever been to.
It was. It was the West Coast Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
At least
and
as
nothing
I remember.
went wrong.
Yeah. And the Summer of Love just kept on going.
Forever, actually. It never ended.
It never ended. BC man ticketed for driving pink Barbie Jeep while impaired during morning commute. And he looks he's got those, what are those pit viper glasses on?
Yeah.
Does
he have blonde hair? Does he look like Ken driving the car?
No, he does not look like Ken. But he looks like he like recorded a video of himself later. He's like, well, you learn something new every day. Turns out you can't, even if it's just a little Barbie Jeep, if you're drunk, they will arrest you or DUI.
Yeah.
So lesson learned. Didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Driving in the street, not even on the sidewalk.
It certainly wasn't street legal. He didn't modify it in any way.
Nope, he was going about 3 miles per hour. Thought he figured out a loophole, but no such luck.
Definitely not as cool as the only cool use of something resembling a Cybertruck, which is that guy who drives around with the Mexican-American flag.
That guy rules. Getting kicked out of like grocery store parking lots all across the country.
Yeah, just driving around.
Driving a tiny Cybertruck with the Mexican flag and usually either an American flag or like some other fun flag.
Yeah.
And he
And
has
his
his dog with sunglasses who rides passenger with him.
It's a great use of free will.
It is. And
and for most people, it brings so much joy.
Yeah, it's like it is like a very interesting social experiment because most people are like, "Hey, cool," and then
hey, fun.
All it takes is one Karen, to like immediately call the cops, and the cops are always there within like seconds.
Yeah, because this is like taking place in some suburban shopping
they got
mall parking
nothing
lot.
else to do.
They're parked like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
California's serial butt sniffer sent back to jail after yet another arrest.
I can't believe he's still at it.
He can't keep
it's
getting
like
away with
once
it.
a month, and we got to do something about this butt sniffer. It's all like Burbank and Glendale. He goes to like Barnes and Noble, and he's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna get this book down here on the bottom shelf," and then he gets right up sniffing those butts. He's been caught on camera a bunch of times. He's not that smooth.
No,
and hence why he keeps getting caught.
Yeah,
and he keeps doing it. He's been arrested so many times at this point, and he's still sniffing butts. He can't help himself.
I feel like there's probably like a fetish website he could go to and probably.
I mean, there's
do
nothing
that totally above board, but
ain't nothing like the real thing.
I guess that's like the thrill of it is what is in it for him.
Yeah. The thrill of the
Getting
danger
caught.
of getting
It's actually
caught.
he loves getting caught. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, if a woman said, "Please come sniff my butt,"
Ew.
what would be the point of that?
Yeah.
She's asking for it? No. I need to do it surreptitiously.
Down at the Ralph's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh shit! Did I drop this apple that I got from the produce section? Let me get that. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Now the problem is there's going to be some completely above board interaction where someone thinks they're getting their butt sniffed, someone gets in trouble for it.
I mean, women should be on the lookout. This
Yeah.
is some sick, depraved shit, and you, as a man, you gotta
Don't drop anything.
don't make it look like you're conveniently bending over to get something when you actually are sniffing some booty.
Mm-hmm.
Think twice.
That's why they put all the more expensive items right at eye level.
Yeah.
They don't want you look. They know that you're not going to want to bend over.
If you're bending over anywhere near like the rear of a woman, you should be very loud about it. Be like, "Oh geez, I gotta reach down for this."
Oh, they only keep the 5-pound bags of rice on the bottom.
Yeah, you gotta just loudly announce your presence and seem less creepy.
Yeah,
And that's just what we got to do moving forward in a post serial butt sniffer world.
that's right.
Anyway, that's our show.
Yes. What a weird one to end on. All right. Well, that's the name of the show anyway, so whatever. Our merch is available. People are already receiving it. Looking great on them. Check it out if you want. I believe it's internettodaymerch.com. It's been a couple days since
Yeah, I
we
think
started.
that's it.
Either way, the link will be in the description below. Please like the video. Please leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're feeling frisky, hit the join button. Otherwise, look, it's not a great week for content. I mean, you can watch the other videos, but you should probably go do something with your friends outside.
Yeah, if you want
Get some vitamin D.
let's relive all that shit.
No.
I don't think so.
Go-
Enjoy your fucking weekend.
Go sit in a park on a blanket and read a book.
Yeah, touch as much grass as you can.
You know what? I think I might do that.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.